So I'm just getting out to a service call for no air conditioning. Just getting on the roof and pretty much instantly saw this bird nest up here, and right now it's nesting season for these seagulls. So I'm always on a lookout for baby seagulls running around, and a lot of times the parents will be dive bombing you the whole time, which is always fun to deal with. But beside the point, basically, like I said, I'm out here for no air conditioning. It's an older package unit. Got up here and it wasn't doing anything. So I first checked for power coming in. I had 0 volts. So then I went to my disconnect, went in here and checked for my incoming power up top. No power. So I pretty much instantly knew something was going on with the breaker panel. Went down to the breaker panel and I saw that it was in the tripped position, not that someone had actually turned it off, but it was tripped, so in the middle. I've talked about this in other videos, but whenever I see that, I almost instantly know that there's something probably short to ground or a wire rubbed or something like that. So I got up on the roof here, back up on the roof after doing all the power stuff, and every time I tried to reset it, it would instantly trip again. So I just left it off. I came up here to kind of test the compressor, because that's, I don't know, 95% of the time that's usually what I see. It's a compressor short to ground. So I traced out some wiring to make sure I was on the leads going to the compressor. All the schematics for this are pretty much toast. This unit's so old. And I ohmed out. I could also see some of the wiring on here was kind of scorched a little bit on this capacitor, but I ohmed it out from the wire lead going to the compressor to ground and had continuity. So I know I have a short to ground. I've talked about this in the past. I always test from the wire leads. I never really test from the compressor, just because I've seen it myself and heard horror stories of the pegs shooting off when the system still has a charge, when you have like a corroded deal. So another thing I always will look, though, I do inspect the wire at least going to it, and I've inspected the wire and I don't see anything, but you can kind of, hard to see through the video here, but you know, I'm looking at the wire going through, but I kind of went through everything, inspected the wire really well. But I do have a short to ground, so I will be putting a slip in here. I'll actually probably return on the power, just because this system still will work in heating and they still could circulate the fan if they wanted to. But I am going to disable it so that the air conditioning will not work. But that is where I'm at now. So really simple, straightforward deal. Also right here, you can kind of see this coil is, you can kind of see this stuff falling apart. We're pretty close to the salt water here, and this coil has had better days as well. I also, in the past, surprisingly, it didn't create a leak, but I've been out to this same facility quite a few years ago, but right over here you can see these people have like a porch area, and I think that basically they were shooting this thing with a BB gun. I had a few spots that looked like it had been hit with like a BB gun or something like that, but it never actually leaked any charge, so they must have just not actually hit the coil loop. It just kind of did a little damage to a couple of the fins. But yeah, that's everything. I'll probably be writing it up for a new system. I know this is an old R22 system and it's kind of seen its day, so I'll be writing it up for a new system. And yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.